What's up, everybody? Welcome to another live today. Man, we got a lot to talk about today. We got a lot of interesting content to talk about today. Just gonna wait for more people to come in. I see 2 people so far came in so far. If this is your first time on this channel, please make sure you like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. I definitely will appreciate it. Thank you. Let's see. Wow. Let's see what we got so far. Marcus, you always there, brother. How are you, man? How are you doing? Marcus, you always there, man. I appreciate you. Let me tell you this, no matter how many subscribers I get, I'm going to tell you, you will always be number one, brother. You are so cool. Thank you for coming. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about tonight, man. Oh, my gosh. We have a lot to be talking about tonight. So we got 5 people in. Okay, so let me play the Tony Rome theme. And we can get this baby started. Let's do it. Let's get this started.
Tony Rome Live.
What's up, everybody? Welcome again. Chris, what's happening, man? What is happening? What's up? Yeah, I am the OG's back. First of all, you know what? I just want to say before we start, I just want to give a very good appreciation to 2 people. And Eric and everybody that gives, I really appreciate it. Woody Brown, thank you very much for the super chat. And Eric, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you very much for the super chat. I definitely appreciate it. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, man, I really appreciate everybody, for what you do and what you give. I appreciate it. It really helps a lot. It makes me want to keep coming back every week. What's up, Joe? What's up, man? How you doing? Here's a drink to you, Joe. Guys, I got some good news for you. Let's start off with some good news, okay? You remember I was telling you guys, that I had to have an MRI of the prostate. You remember? What's up, man? Mr. Tony Rowe, I'm still, don't you dare tell me you were Barracuda. I'm going to be so mad at you. Don't you tease me like that, Burnham. Don't do it. You're going to make me walk away from this live. Because I definitely need some Colombian love right now, man. I'm going to tell you, I definitely need some Colombian love. Wow, you're at Barranquilla, man. I'm jealous. I am super jealous. But I know it's hot, though. Around this time in Barranquilla, it is hot. And air conditioning is a must in Barranquilla, especially between May and June. It can get very hot. Matter of fact, when I was in Barranquilla, let me tell you this. If the Colombians are telling you it's too hot, then it's too hot. Okay? And most of the cab drivers didn't even have air conditioning. Yeah, yeah, it's not June yet, but I'm sure it's probably. I'm sure it's still hot there right now. This is May, so it's very close to June, and I went there in June, and man, it was hot. And then what's so crazy about it? While I was on my dates there, you would jump into a taxi that didn't have air conditioning, and then go to a restaurant that didn't have air conditioning. So you in the cab sweating like bullets. You get outside, you sweating like bullets. You go into a restaurant and they didn't have air conditioning and you sweating. That was scary though in the way because it was hot. It was really hot. So congratulations, Bern. I hope you have a really good time. So let me tell you guys about the results of the MRI. And I'm going to tell you guys some very important things. Always get checkups. Make sure you always get a checkup because you never know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes these doctors they can find things before they happen. You know what I'm saying? So when you get my age, when you get around 60 years old, when you get around 40 years old, you're gonna start having problems with your prostate. Okay, you're gonna notice something is that the prostate it swells up. Well, not really swells up, but it enlarges itself. And what it does is it impairs you to be able to urinate. So sometimes when you go to the bathroom, some guys you be straining, like pushing, and you have a very weak urine stream. Usually that is because of your prostate. Okay. So let me tell you, let me get this out the way. But what happened was I was going to see a urologist. Let me say I would never return to Canada unless it must be 105 degrees. I don't blame you, brother. I heard you. I heard that. I can't wait to get out. I can't wait to get out, man. But yeah, so what happened was they found out that my PSA levels were elevated. It's called a prostate specific antibody. Okay. If you're over 40, you need to have that done. Okay. So the doctor comes back to me, the urologist, saying, your prostate levels are very elevated. We need to do some tests. We need to do a MRI. MRI is a very in-depth radiological exam. I mean, it's like very in depth. I don't know if anyone of you all ever experienced an MRI, but I had that done 2 weeks ago, and I got the results of the MRI, and I can tell you that there was no prostate cancer found. There was no prostate cancer found. Yeah, there was no prostate cancer found. So I just want to tell everybody Tony Rome is cancer free. Cancer free. So I thank God for that. So that's the good news. Oh, yeah, it's a blessing. Yeah, it's a blessing. But always remember cancer, if it's caught early, most of these cancers are treated 100% curable. But the problem that you get into when people ignore the symptoms. They ignore the symptoms. They don't go to the doctor and they just ignore. And what happens is the cancer spreads to other organs and other tissues in the body. And now you have a much bigger problem. Then you had have a bigger problem. So I just want to tell you guys, make sure you go see your doctor, because you never know what's going on, So I had some other scary experiences, but I'm gonna probably talk about that in another live. So yeah, that's something else I wanted to tell you guys about. I had a very crazy experience last night. Man, let me tell you something, man. These tornadoes are getting out of hand. They are getting way out of hand. And if you in Wisconsin, Michigan, Ohio, um, if you in New Jersey, if you around that area, Virginia, I think it's Virginia, Kentucky, right now at this moment, you are under a tornado threat. So always be aware of your surroundings. Let me tell y'all what happened to me last night. I had just watched a movie on Netflix. It was around about 12:50, going on 1 o'clock in the morning. Harry, I'm doing good, brother. It's so good to see you. How are you, sir? Great to see you. Harry's in the house, y'all. Harry's in the house. But yeah, it's been a long time, Harry. I thought you forgot all about me, brother. I thought you forgot all about me. It's good to see you here again. It's good to see everybody. But let me tell you guys what happened to me last night. So I'm getting ready to go to bed because I usually have to get up around 6 in the morning, to go to work. Yeah, we're in Tornado Valley. Yeah. But they think that Tornado Alley has moved over towards the east now. It has moved over towards the east. So let me tell you what happened. So I opened up my window and I'm just seeing this lightning. It just looked at odd. The sky, it looked at very, 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 very odd. You know what I'm saying? And I got this very, very ominous type of feeling. It was just weird. It was weird. And it was like this constant rumble, just rumbling all the time. It was weird. And then all of a sudden, the women agree, but the juice is free and fresh. I'll go down well, but be careful crossing the street. Tony and Rome, cancer free. Yeah, be humble, love. Be on your show. I will see. I should see. Yeah, make sure you see a doctor. Make sure that you see a doctor. Yeah, go to your doctor, guys. I cannot stress this enough of doing, routine checkups. Do routine checkups because it could be a difference between life and death. Because I'm telling you, they had caught some things about me that I didn't even know that was going on inside my body. You know what I'm saying? So, okay. Yeah, Flint, Michigan, and all this tornado. Yes, it is. It's Tornado Alley now. So I get into bed, right? And then all of a sudden, I hear all of these alarms going off. I mean, they were loud, just very loud. These sirens start going off around 1 o'clock, 1:15 in the morning. They were just going off, going off, going off, going off. And then all of a sudden, the weather started to change outside. And then I got an alert on my phone. It said that tornado is on the ground, moving at 55 miles per hour. Take cover immediately. Go to your bathroom. Go to the lower part of the. If you don't have a basement, then go into your bathroom or take cover immediately. And these alarms was going off. Then I just basically got out of bed, put my pants on, and my phone was alarming. And we have right here, I'm next to the stairwell where I live at in my apartment. So I just put on my jogging pants and just went downstairs. And I waited till everything blew over. And I could see everything was like smashing up against the windows and stuff like that. And the tornado did damage here in Michigan, in the Flint area, in the Oxford area, and some of the townships around here. They got hit. So I just say this to tell you, always be aware of your surroundings. If you get an alert on your phone and they tell you to move, you move. Because those things they come up on you really fast. If a tornado is on the ground, it can be on you within 5 minutes. And that's where people make a mistake. They say, oh, well, it's not going to happen to me. It always happens to everybody else. But no, it doesn't. It can happen to anybody. So I'm just saying, be aware of your surroundings. If you get something like that on your phone, take evasive maneuvers, okay? Take care of yourself. Okay, that's what I want to say about that. Okay. All right, so let's get into what's going on with the economy. Well, guys, I don't know if you heard, but they're supposed to be voting on the debt ceiling very soon. It's coming up in August, and we are in a lot of financial trouble. Let's see. I remember the dude from the tornado video. He was just standing there, and nothing. Nothing moved. Yeah. He just stood there. He just waited till it came to him. Yeah, but economically, our country is in a lot of trouble. And August, so what happened was back in March, I think it was in February, they're supposed to have voted on the debt ceiling. The debt ceiling is the government once a year, they borrow money to be able to pay the bills. That's what the debt ceiling is. Congress and them, they vote on it, and they vote to increase the debt. Okay, that's what they do. They vote to increase the debt. Okay. Now, what's happening now is that back in, I think it was February, they didn't vote on the debt ceiling. What they did was they just partially funded the government for a certain amount of time, but they still haven't officially voted for the debt ceiling. Okay. So now this is coming up in August. They're supposed to vote on the debt ceiling. But right now, financially, we are $37 trillion in U.S. debt. Let me see what everybody's still talking about the tornado. There was a tornado in my hometown of Rock Hill. Yeah, South Carolina last year that flagged one part of my town, destroyed many trees and gas stations, but the weather people said it technically was not a tornado. Yeah, those tornadoes can come on you very, very fast. They're fast. When like I told you again, if they tell you that a tornado is on the ground, you move. They say you have up to 5 minutes to get into a safe area if it's on the ground. And they was tracking this thing last night. They was tracking it. The weather service was tracking that tornado. And it was going from township to township to township, just destroying everything in its path. Matter of fact, I'm going to share something with y'all just 1 second. Let me see something here for a second. What happened to this lady? This happened last night. Let's see here. Hold on 1 second. See if I can bring this up here. Okay, let's see if I can bring this video up for you guys. See, the wind is blowing now where I'm at. Okay, hold on here for 1 minute. Let me see if I can find this. Just bear with me 1 minute. Let's see, do I have it here? Okay, I think I got it now. Okay, can you guys see it? Okay, check this out. Play this for you guys. Yep. Okay, let me come on back. Okay, I am back. Okay. Okay, guys, I'm back. Whoa, that was. I thought I lost you for a minute. Yeah. Tony, do you think, Tony, what do you think about the royal treatment price Trump received? 3 Middle East countries he visited this week. Yeah, they committed over $1 trillion in long-term investments. You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. There's some things I want to say, but I cannot say on this live. I'm gonna put it like that. Think about it though. Look at that, Chris. Look at that. He committed over $1 trillion in long-term investments to the U.S. I think, you know what, maybe, no, I can't say it. But I know you know what, I know what's going on, but like I said on YouTube, there's some things you just cannot say. You know, this is this is very. I'm gonna put it like, let me say it like this. This is very extremely concerning. I'm just gonna put it like that. Why would why would they commit over $1 trillion in long-term investments to the U.S. though? For what reason? Why? Because we're about to default on our debt. The debt is $1.5 trillion in interest. That's just interest in the debt. Matter of fact, I got something I want to share with you guys about the debt ceiling. But they're supposed to vote on it again in August. And knowing Trump, there's a possibility that he may end up just let the debt default. I want y'all to check this video out about the debt. Reason why this is very, very concerning.
National debt was around $10 trillion, but over the past 2.5 decades, we've seen borrowing like never before, so much so that that debt pile is now 3.5 times higher at $36.22 trillion. But why has this been focused on so much more over the past few years? Well, it's because something has changed in the past few years that now makes this big pile of debt look a hell of a lot scarier. That is how much interest the US has to pay on the debt. In 2020, that amount was $523 billion. But get this, in 2025 fiscal year to date, so in just over 6 months, the government has already had to pay $478 billion in interest. So almost the same as the total 2020 payments with 6 months still to go. In fact, in the 2024 fiscal year, the government forked out $1.13 trillion in interest payments on their debt, more than double the payment made 4 years prior. How does this all work? Well, the US government has income and it has expenses, the same way you or I do. The problem is the US spends a lot more than it earns. Fiscal year to date, the government has earned $1.89 trillion and has spent $3.04 trillion. And that's a big hole. And that's incidentally what Elon Musk is trying to fix with the Department of Government Efficiency. But for the time being, because the US spends more than it earns, it has to finance this deficit with borrowed money. How it does this is by selling bonds. The government writes on little pieces of paper, I owe you $1,000 in 3 months, a year, 10 years. There are lots of different bond maturities. And investors will buy these contracts off the government, which effectively loans the government their money. Now, the only other thing to note is that written on these bonds is the agreed interest rate that the government has to pay out each year to the investor. So you buy a 3-year bond at 4%, the government has to pay you out 4% of the bond's value each year for 3 years as interest, and then at the end of the 3 years, you get your money back. So what happens is that every year the government runs a deficit, they have to sell more and more bonds to fill in the gaps, and that adds more debt to the pile. The problem is that the government hasn't run a surplus in about 25 years, and that...
So those are treasury bonds that he's talking about that we sell, how we sell our debt with U.S. treasuries. And people buy our debt like China and Russia used to be the biggest holder of U.S. debt.
Deficit continues to get worse every year, not better. So every year the government needs to go further and further into debt.
Right now we're at a juncture. Let's take the budget. If the budget deficit can be reduced to 3% of GDP, it will be about 7% if things are not changed. This could all be managed very well. If they don't, we're going to have a supply-demand problem for debt, and the results of that will be worse than a normal recession.
Now, that's obviously a problem, but the reason this has become such an issue over the past few years is because of the rise in interest rates. Think of it like this. You buy this nice house, and to do so, you take on $1 million mortgage. Now, if interest rates are at 0.5%, it's not a big deal. That's $5,000 per year in interest. But if interest rates all of a sudden rise to 5%, well, that's a huge problem because now the mortgage costs you $50,000 a year in interest alone. It's the exact same idea with the government's debt, but there are some nuances here. For our example, the US debt pile isn't one big loan.
Yeah.
It's a collection of smaller loans that are all locked in for different lengths of time. Some loans need to be paid back in a month, some in a year, some in 10 years, some in 30 years. And they're all locked in at slightly different interest rates based on when the government created the bonds. So what's helpful to know with all this in mind is if you considered all the loans and all the interest rates, what's the average interest rate that the US is currently having to pay on that $36 trillion pile of debt? Well, we actually know that number. Back in 2020, the average interest rate was 1.772%. Imagine the $1 million mortgage, that's $17,720 in interest per year. But over the past few years, because we've needed to deal with the post-COVID inflation, the Federal Reserve has raised interest rates from 0 to roughly 4.5%. Now, what does that mean for the debt? Well, because the government doesn't actually make money, it means that when old bonds come due and investors need to be repaid, the government can't actually pay them. So what it does is it refinances the debt, aka it replaces the old loan with a new one. And this is a problem for the government now because in today's conditions, they're refinancing this debt at higher interest rates. If they borrowed $1 billion in 2020 and investors accepted a 1% interest rate, well, now they're demanding 4.3%. That's tough, and slowly but surely, chunks of this $36 trillion pile are being refinanced on more punishing terms. In fact, the average interest rate has already risen from 1.772% in 2020 to now 3.282%. The $1 million mortgage was costing $17,720 per year, and it now costs $32,820 per year.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Chris, I don't get any more ads from Temu anymore too. I noticed that. Yeah. I hope China and U.S. come to a deal, but I don't think they are though. But this is the problem that we're in: is this debt that we have is just like a revolving debt. Everything is based on debt in this country. Everything.
Now you just have to multiply that by 36.2 million, and that's the state of the annual US interest payments. So the fact that we still have to add more debt to the pile every year, plus the fact that new or rolled over debt now has to be financed at higher interest rates, are the reasons why the interest expense is now ballooning. But does this mean the US is going to default? That's the big question.
Hey Chris, that's the big question I want to ask you. Do you think that we're going to default? Do you think that Trump is going to eventually say, you know what, we're just going to fall on the debt? Because it's like reciprocal, you know, the interest they keep adding and the interest rates that keep going up and up and up and up. It's like you'll never be able to pay it. We'll never be able to pay this debt. $37 trillion at 3% interest. So we're paying more than our GDP, actually. We're paying more in interest. We're paying more on the interest than we're paying for Medicare, Social Security, and all those other benefits. And it's going to continue to get higher and higher. So what I'm trying to tell you all is that when August come around, do you think they're going to vote to raise the debt ceiling again?
Question, but before I answer it, I want to talk about something else that's absolutely ballooning, which is the amount of spam in my inbox. Spam is so much worse these days. I'm now on my 3rd email address thanks to spam getting out of control. Expense. More debt needs to be taken on at the end of the year to plug that gap. This debt at a higher interest rate makes the interest expense even higher, widening the deficit further. You can see how this starts to create a positive feedback loop.
The US federal government spent $880 billion on debt interest last year. That's 4 times the level of a decade ago. And it's more than they spend on the military, almost as much as they spend on health. If the way that you pay for debt is to issue more debt, you're vulnerable to a rise in interest rates, and that's exactly what's happened.
It's approaching 25% of all revenues just to pay back the debt. And that is the classic debt trap, right?
But is this actually a problem for the US? Well, here's the thing. The US probably won't default in the way that most people imagine. It's not like Argentina where they just can't pay back their debt. The US borrows in its own currency and it controls the printing press. So technically, it can always create dollars to repay the debt. But that doesn't mean there's no danger because...
Wait a minute, Chris, you said I'm not for sure about the debt, really. I assume he kicked the can down the road, but it would be a surprise if he does not. But if we default, I'm sure how having a bad credit rating will help us. Actually, Chris, I don't think that will help us because, matter of fact, what will happen is if we default on our debts, that means all those treasury bills that countries bought to support our debt will be basically no good. And then our credit rating. Matter of fact, I just got an email on my phone that Moody's just degraded our credit rating. So having bad credit is like, okay, it's like, okay, if we default on the debt, okay, it would be like bankruptcy, basically. It would be like bankruptcy. No default, print to print. Any questions, Canada's paying billions. Wait a minute, hold on for a second. Let me see this. No default, print. Any questions, Canada's paying $1 billion capital interest a week. Wow. Let me tell you this. I'm going to tell you something. You cannot come out of debt by paying debt. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Yeah, so I think it would not allow us to default on the debt. But what I'm saying is, like what he just said, is that you want to continuously, okay, let's say if they do increase the debt ceiling in August, okay, so that means that that's more debt. You know, you got a bigger principal, but let's say you're dealing with 3% or maybe even 4% interest. So basically, let me tell you this. We are so much in debt until only thing we can pay is just the interest of the debt. Okay, that's not sustainable. And usually when you have that much type of debt, the next phase is bankruptcy. Because I filed for bankruptcy. Proof that the globalist pharaohs hate us and enjoy seeing us suffering. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, but this is going. I don't know what Trump. Me personally, I have a feeling that he might just turn around and say, you know what, forget it. Let's just default. You know, don't have to worry about paying that much money, but because basically, you just getting loans just to be able to pay another loan. It's like revolving debt over and over and over again that doesn't stop. Because already Moody's, which is a credit agency, had just said that our credit rating is declining.
Is printing money to pay debt isn't free. The cost shows up as inflation and loss of trust. If investors think the US is going to print its way out of trouble, they'll demand higher interest rates on their treasury bonds to be compensated for the risk of holding dollar-denominated debt. That pushes borrowing costs up even further, and the cycle continues. And here's where things get dicey. Economists and rating agencies love to look at a stat, interest payments as a percentage of GDP. Basically, how much of the economy has been eaten up just to pay debt interest. Historically, around 3% of GDP going to interest is uncomfortable but manageable. 4 to 5% starts to crowd out other critical spending, defense, health, infrastructure. And if we hit 6% or more, it could trigger serious economic consequences, credit rating downgrades, panic in bond markets, and even a loss of confidence in the dollar itself. Now, if US GDP is around 28 trillion, then the 1.13 trillion interest expense from fiscal 2024 represents an even 4% of GDP. That point where interest payments start to influence other spending.
The projected amount of debt that has to be sold, which equals the deficit, is 7.5.
You know what, Chris? I'm going to tell you something. You know what I really think? Thank you, Eric. Eric, thanks a lot for your cash apps. Thank you very much for your I thank you so much for your contribution to the channel, man. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you for those super chats and everything. You really help the channel a lot. You really, really do. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. I mean, there's nothing you can really do about it because it's unsustainable. You just can't be in that much debt like that. It's just like me It's just like me going to my sister, borrowing money every month to pay my rent, but then I only can pay the interest of what I owe her. So I come back to her a month later again and ask her for money again to help pay my rent. That's not sustainable. I've never seen a country or an empire that came out of debt using debt. It's not going to work. Unless you want to defy the laws of physics, or economics. I'm not an economist, but I do know that fiscally we are in big trouble because you haven't even factored in the BRICS countries yet. You haven't even factored that in. Matter of fact, there are countries right now who is no longer using the US dollar anymore. So if countries start using other means of payment other than the US dollar, then that means there's no need for them to buy our debt anymore. You see what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm talking about? Do you understand what I am talking about? Yep. So this is going to be a very interesting summer. We're going to see what happens, but only thing I can tell you guys is buy gold. Invest in gold, and I wouldn't buy bonds or anything like that. I would invest in precious metal because you can see right now that there are countries right now are doing trade other than the US dollar. You know what I'm saying? So, yep. So, I got something else for you guys also in the travel space now. My girlfriend, Maria, she disappeared. Maria is a very, very, very good friend of mine. I mean, every time I go down to Colombia, I visit her all the time. She comes by and she visits me. We have like a very close friendship. You know what I'm saying? It's like she comes and we sit there at the patio by the pool in Medellin at the resort. And we do this every single time I come there. But since August of last year, she has completely disappeared. Her WhatsApp is gone, because I want to let her know that I'm on my way back down there again. I usually tell her when I'm coming, when to expect me, and then I want us to, to be able to spend some time together, right? But we always get together when I come down there. And if she changes her phone number or something like that, she would always let me know. She would give me her new number. She would, I would always be able to contact her on Instagram, on Facebook. She's always posting stuff on there. It was like a ritual that we had together. You know what I'm saying? When I come down there. And she's a very beautiful blonde too. I like committed crime, disappear, or just, I don't know. Because what I find very strange is there's nothing about, everything is gone. Guys, everything is gone. There's no Instagram anymore. There's no Facebook anymore. No WhatsApp anymore. It's like she just disappeared. She's gone. I don't think you really know Maria, but Maria is a very, I usually don't show too much of the females that I date in Colombia too much because unfortunately you got some idiots on here that troll. But I have, matter of fact, if you check out my YouTube shorts, if you check them all, you will see Maria. That's the one that came in. I said, oh my God, you are beautiful. I would have to pull that YouTube short up, but it's in my content, you know, when she came to see me. And she is one of the most nicest. Yeah, Barbie is a blonde too, yes, but Maria was a blonde also. Yes, she was a blonde, but she disappeared. Nothing. She's gone. So I went, you know, I typed in all these different names and stuff because somebody asked me and said, okay, did she block you or something? I said, no, she didn't block me because I have different accounts that are logged on to Facebook and Instagram and, you know, to be able to, you know, just to see if she did block me. But no, there's no block there. There's no, I mean, it's like she just like disappeared. And because I'm on my way back down there, and it would not be the same. Medellin would not be the same without seeing Maria. I'm gonna be honest with you. It would not be this because we always did this like ritual meeting. She would come by, we would sit on the patio, order a bottle of champagne, order dinner. And she's very beautiful. She's a very attractive girl too. She's a blonde. And we did this for like 5 years. But all of a sudden, she just disappeared. I contacted her. I left multiple messages on WhatsApp. I said, Maria, this is Tom. I'm coming back to Medellin. I mean, is we going to see each other again? Are you going to come by and see me? Nothing. Nothing. And then I had her email address. I contacted her on her email address. I did have connection to her email address. I sent messages on her email. I said, Maria, this is Tony. What's up? What's up? ¿Cómo estás? Where are you? Where are you, babe? Where are you? Oh, I just seen the short. Yeah, you just seen the short. Yeah, that's the short. Yeah, that's Maria. Yeah, that's the short. Yeah, you seen the short. Yeah, that's Maria. Yep, she just disappeared. Matter of fact, let me, guys, if you give me a minute, let me see if I can bring that short up for you guys. Do y'all want me to, let me ask you, let me know in the comment section if y'all want me to go get that short. Y'all want to see the short of Maria briefly. Because it may take me a minute to try to pull it up. Do y'all want me to do that? Or you want me to show you on the next live? Just let me know in the comment section if you want me to pull up that short on Maria. Okay, give me a minute. Let me go see if I can find it. Give me a minute, okay? Give me a minute so I can find that short. Make sure y'all hit that like button too for me, okay? Let me see if I can find that short. I'm going to my shorts. Scroll down, all the way down. Okay, let me see. Hold on 1 second. Let me see. Maria, where are you? Okay, I found it. Okay. She looks like Barbie too. She looks like a Barbie doll too. Okay, I think I got it now. So let me come back to you guys. Okay, let me see. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can pull her up. Share screen, share screen. Okay, here we go. Friend here was just eating the chicken sandwich. Papas fritas.
No, dame un momentico, sí, dame un momentico.
Here just dining out.
Dale. Sí,
All
pasa
that
que...
me and my friend here were just eating the chicken sandwich. Papas fritas.
No, dame un momentico, sí, dame un momentico.
Here just dining out.
Dale. Sí,
All
pasa
that
que...
me and my friend here were just eating the chicken sandwich. Papas fritas.
No, dame un momentico, sí, dame un momentico.
Here just dining out.
Dale. Sí,
All
pasa
that
que...
me and my friend here were just eating the chicken sandwich. Papas fritas.
No, dame un momentico, sí, dame un momentico.
Here just dining out.
Dale.
Okay. Yeah. Willie Brown, what's up? What's up? What's up, Willie Brown? What's up? Thank you. Thank you. Willie Brown, thank you so much. Willie Brown, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the super chat, brother. Thank you so freaking much, man. You are the best, man. Let's give a handshake. Thank you. You say, hello, Tony. Just checking. I am at work getting ready to finish my work week. My container trip is on Memorial Day. That is going to be so nice, man. Congratulations, man. And thank you very much for the super chat, man. I mean, for your super chats, and thank you very much. Thank you very much for all your contributions and everything. I really appreciate that. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. You know, let's see. No, you have to worry about me getting scope. You said, when did this happen? Wait a minute, hold on. Yep, you just seen the short. Okay, Marcus. When did this happen? This happened, she disappeared August of 2024. That's the last time I spoke with her. I looked at the WhatsApp app, the stamp on there, and then all the other messages that I sent that went unanswered. So she's been gone for a while. No. She's a good girl. She wasn't Scorpio. She was a really, really cool person. But she just disappeared. That's what's weird. I can't see her, but I think I remember that short. Yeah. Where was she at the hotel? Yeah, by the elevator, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. That's the one. She was there. And she was real nice, man. She was real nice. I would hate to lose her, man. I would hate to lose that one. Yeah. He said, I'm no rookie. Oh, thank you, sir. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, man. You know, thank you, Willie Brown. You're the reason why I come here every weekend, man. You're the reason why I come here, man. I really appreciate that, brother. I really definitely appreciate that. Yeah, but you know what? Only thing I can say about this is that That's why I tell you guys, don't get emotionally involved with these women. Don't get emotionally involved, because this is something that can happen. This is things that do happen. You become, you draw a connection with them, and then when something happens, it hurts. It really does hurt, because I really liked her. I've been knowing her for years. She has a 5-year-old daughter. So she was reported that she went missing, or did you talk to her, just left on, delivered on? You said, wait a minute, you said it was reported as in she went missing. Yeah, she did went missing. Or did you talk her and just left you on, delivered on? I can't understand what you mean, Marcus, but yeah, she's gone. And let me tell you something. Usually, when something like that happens, I've seen this happen before. When they just disappear, there's only 2 ways that usually this ends up in situations like that. I'm going to be completely honest with you, because it's not so much she disappeared, but the way she disappeared. But there's nothing left of her. There's nothing left. No Instagram, no Facebook, no TikTok. Even her TikTok videos are gone. Everything's gone. So that's a pretty bad sign that something may have happened to her. I pray to God it don't, because I'm gonna tell you something. In Colombia, some girls do become unalive. They do. That happened to my cousin. May he rest in peace. He used to go down to Colombia all the time, and he used to meet females, and then he'd be wondering, one of his female friends disappeared, and then he'd find out from the family that the girl was unalived. I hope that didn't happen to her. But it's just very unusual. Just like me right now. I do lives every Thursday and Friday. I do lives every Friday. If I stop doing lives, then you all think something has happened to me. Like, where's Tony? What if I just disappeared? You all would get worried. Say, oh, where's Tony? That's not like him just to disappear like that. If something like that, because I get concerned when I don't see you guys every weekend, every week. I get concerned, like, okay, wait a minute. What happened is like this, there was an individual that just came over here today. I haven't heard from him in months. Harry. I haven't heard from Harry in months. I get worried about that. But the thing I just wanted to tell you is that don't get emotionally involved with none of these girls. I mean, you say she went missing, right? Did someone report her missing, or did she just left on delivered on screen? No, Marcus. She disappeared on me. Now, as far as her being like, if something happened to her, or was she like on the news or something? No, not that I know of. I'm just saying that me and her talked on a regular basis, and she just stopped communicating with me. But not only did she stop communicating with me, she is nowhere to be found. There's no phone numbers anymore. There's no she won't even respond to her emails. Because usually when someone shuts down their media, that means they either got in trouble and disappeared, or they are starting fresh. Yeah, but I know her I know her real first and last name. Because there was one girl that I lost contact with. Her name is Sophie. She's another friend of mine down in Medellin. I had lost contact with her, but I had her email address. Okay? I always get their email address. I contact her on the email address, And she contacted me back. I said, hey, where you been? You know, I'm in town. I'm in Colombia. You know, I've been trying to get a hold of you. Where are you? You changed your number. And she apologized, and then she just gave me the right number. But she did answer her email address. Eric, thank you very much for the super sticker. Thank you very, very much. Oh, man. I really appreciate this, sir. Thank you so much. You are the best, Eric. Eric, thank you very, very, very much. Thank you. For the super sticker. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very, very much, man. I definitely appreciate it. Eric, you always there. So the reason why I did this subject is I'm just trying to warn you all, just don't get emotionally involved when you're in the long distance relationship, because you become very helpless when things like this happen. Okay? And then there's something else I want to discuss with you all. The last thing too, I want to talk to you all about. Whatever you do, please listen to this. Whatever you do, do not bring your wife back to the U.S. Okay? I got a story for you guys I want you to hear. Have you guys anybody heard of Sunshine Shoulders? He's an older guy. He lives in the Philippines. Have you guys heard of him before? I hope she's safe. Maybe her Colombian husband said that she has to remove all her social media ban from all content. That's possible too. That's possible too. That's possible. But she was a lot of fun. And I'm going to tell you something else too. This is going to mess some of your minds up. Let me tell you, sometimes you can meet a actual pro, and she can become a good friend. Yes. Sometimes a pro can become a good friend. I met 2 of them. Okay? Some people do that when they start fresh or something and change their name, disguise or something. I don't know. Yes. Yeah, she looks like Eddie George. Yeah, he looks like Eddie George. Hey, Chris, who's Eddie George? Who y'all talking about? I hope she's safe too, Chris. I mean, Eric, I'm sorry. I pray that she's safe because I really liked her a lot. Even though she was a pro, I still liked her a lot. Some of them you meet are pros and some of you meet that aren't pro. Ain't nothing wrong with that. She was a good person. I just hate to see her go. But something I want you guys to watch. I don't know if you guys heard of a guy named. Oh, wait a minute. Let me see. Oh, you talking about Eddie George? Oh, you talking about Sunshine Shoulders? Yeah. He looks like Eddie. Yeah, but he tells the truth though. Ex-football. Okay, I know what you're talking about now. Okay, yeah. Chris, you know everything, Chris. Hey, I have. While we're on the subject, I have a question to ask you guys. A question. Where is Miko Worldwide? What happened to him? What happened to Miko Worldwide? Do anybody know what happened to Miko? Because I looked at his page, I looked at his YouTube page, and he had over 500 subscribers, and he just have not did any videos. Is he okay? Anybody know what happened to him? And then that's another one. I need to contact Razor Rage because he's really good at knowing that type of information. What happened to Passport Dog too? I want to know what happened to him because he just disappeared. It seems like I'm just seeing people just walk away from their YouTube channels. Do anybody know what happened to Passport Dog, or do anybody know what happened to Miko Worldwide? Now, I heard that Miko was in some trouble. Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah, Miko's from Atlanta, but he just disappeared. He did some very good videos, though. He did some very good videos. Miko did, and he did explain himself about what really happened. So, I don't judge anybody, man. Okay, maybe. Okay. Hey, Guru, what's up? He got arrested in Colombia, actually. He was extradited to the United States for trafficking of minors. Well, for doing some things that he had no business doing. And the Colombian authorities, I know they did arrest him, and they extradited him back to the United States, but he got out. And he started doing videos, and he had a lawyer, and he started explaining himself, about all that stuff was untrue, what they said about him, But now he's gone again. So I'm just kind of curious what happened to him. Well, if you guys find out anything about Miko, or especially Passport Dog, he used to do content in Medellin all the time. And I love his content on Manizales, because that's going to be one of my cities. Hey, Chris, I'm going to have to get with you about Manizales, because I'm supposed to be going there to meet a friend in Manizales. So that's going to be one of the places that I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop in Poblado for a while, maybe a couple of days, and then I'm going to shoot off to Manizales. Let me see. March the 29th, oh, his second IG page. Here is his last post. March the 29th, oh, his second IG page. Okay, you're talking about Passport Dog, right, Chris? Okay, his main page. So we ain't talking about Miko, we talk about Passport Dog, right, Chris? Yeah, it's a little bit high in the mountains. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's high in the mountains. Yes, it is. Yeah, you probably could get altitude sickness. Oh, okay. You said you're not for sure, so you heard from Miko. Okay, so Miko. Okay, Miko. March the 29th. Okay. Because you know what, on his YouTube page, he haven't did no content 1 to 2 years. I just don't understand how a person can get up to 500 subscribers and do all that work on YouTube and just walk away and not do no content anymore. Because YouTube is not very easy. It's not very easy at all. It takes a lot of work. Okay, I want you all to see this video on Sunshine Shoulders. He said that this is one of the reasons why you never bring your wife back to the States. And he's going to explain that, because this happened to a friend of his. And this is what happens when you move too fast, and when you bring your foreign wife back to the States. It's a very not a good idea. I would never advise anybody to do that. Yeah, it's possible. It's been over a year, man. That's messed up. I don't know. it's just strange. I'm just seeing people, the other passport guy too, he walked away from his YouTube channel. And he had 50,000 subscribers. The other passport guy, the guy with the glasses, he has the cigar. What's his name again, Chris? I keep forgetting his name. His name is Passport. It's not Passport Heavy, it's Passport. I'm trying to think, what was it? What is it, Chris? The other guy with the glasses, he used to come on Instagram. He walked away from it. I went on his website too. His website is down. I couldn't even leave him a message. I really miss him, man. I really miss him doing videos. He did some really good content. Passport Action, yes. Passport Action. Yeah, he did some really good. But Chris, me, you're gonna have to really maybe we can contact each other on Instagram and talk about Manizales a little bit. I'd like to know your experience about it. So, okay, I want y'all to check out this video on Sunshine Shoulders, and he's going to tell you an experience that happened to a friend. And this is the reason why I tell you all, do not bring your wife back to the States. And look what happens.
With her lover, and all hell breaks loose. Welcome back to my channel, Sunshine Shoulders. I'm Calvin. Thank y'all so much for stopping by again today. Is everybody feeling good today? I hope you're feeling a little better than you were yesterday. A husband.
He's like our age, Willie Brown.
In bed with her lover, and all hell breaks loose.
We at that retirement
this
age.
is a sad story, and it's even sadder because I know the gentleman. But he said it's okay that I share his story, as long as I don't mention his name, his location. Just keep them.
Yeah, he got a beautiful wife
anonymous.
too.
He knows.
Wow.
He's been following me for a long time that we get more out of these
Man, I can't wait till this meeting.
bad stories than the good ones, because there's far more good stories than bad. But the good stories are boring. But let me give you a little context of how all this happened. They met through a mutual acquaintance. They didn't meet online. So he thought, maybe that's a good sign. He's heard so many horror stories about meeting women online and everything. Well, they chat and they make plans. He comes over here for 3 weeks. Now this is where he makes his first mistake. Because when he goes back, he applies for the visa. I don't know what happened. He never told me that, but obviously she blew his mind. Okay, obviously he was head over heels for her. But you have to know these women a little bit more than 3 weeks. So he goes back, does the visa, everything's going okay, and then all of a sudden the pandemic kicks in. Stops everything for 2 years. So they're chatting, it's long distance, I'm pretty sure he's taking care of her. He finds out a few more things about her. She's been with a foreigner before. She's got 2 young children. Red flags that he overlooked. If you don't hear anything else on this vlog today, hear this. If they've ever dealt with a foreigner before, you got to move on. You just got to say, hey, that's the biggest red flag of all red flags. I don't care how good they look, how educated they are, how much money they have. You're going to pay for what he did or what he didn't do. But after 2 years, okay, the visa process starts up and their application is approved right away. Boom. Happy time. She's in America, but guess what? He don't know who he done bought over there. They've only met one time, remember, in person for 3 weeks, so he really don't know what he got. But he loves the woman, and he does everything he told her he was going to do. He got the visa, he married her, get her a good job. Now she got credit, she's got a new car. He's taking care of the family over here, because the children are still over here. He set them up, they set up over here good. And everything is everything until it's not. She gets the bright idea I want to meet somebody else. I want somebody younger. Remember Marilyn told y'all before? You never know what you got until she's got what she wants. Once she gets to where she wants to be, then you're going to know if she loves you or not. Well, he had set her feet on the path going somewhere. I mean, this guy went the extra mile. He went out on a limb. That's what a fruit is anyway. Bent over backwards. With a
Sometimes you could take the person away from the trash, but you take the trash out of the person. Always remember that.
would give this woman the world if he could. And she got the bright idea that I can fool around on this man. She done forgot all about all that he done, all the sacrifice. Guys, it takes a lot of money to bring them to your country. Okay? Takes a lot of trust and all of that. She risked it all. She gonna throw all that away to roll the dice because now all of a sudden she thinks she's all that, I guess. You know, didn't nobody else want her basically. You know, she done forgot it. He the one bought you over there. Okay? He's the one taking care of your children and all of that. Not this new guy. But I'm kind of getting ahead of myself.
Okay, Mark, let me bring you up to date. What's going on, what he's talking about. What happened was it was a friend of his that met a woman in the Philippines. He only known her for 3 weeks, and he brought her back to the States. And she found the guy that brought her back. I think he married her, if I'm not mistaken. And he caught her in the act, in the bed with another man. I'll call lies on this whole thing. Yeah, I know what you mean. She's using him as a stepping stone, or she's seeing someone else. Yep, she was seeing someone else. All right, let's finish listening to what he's saying.
Well, anyway, he starts noticing some stuff. But he kind of overlooks it because, you know, his wife is unassuming. It's not like she's a 10 or something. She's not ugly, but she's not a 10. She's humble, you know. She's just, you know, unassuming. But he overlooks it, and then all of a sudden, she starts working out. He said, in his words, burning up the treadmill in the house and started lifting weights. He was like, oh, what's going on? Because he said he's satisfied with her. He never said anything about a weight or anything. You know, she's a little woman. But that was just one thing he overlooked. Then she started being places other than where she said she was going. People start telling him stuff. So he got the bright idea.
I don't think he's making up the story, Guru.
Put a tracking device on a car, which is what
because I've heard stories like this before. They were
still
true.
lying.
Because he's in the Philippines, so no reason why he have to lie.
Well, he sees the tracking device is not where she works. So he goes and tracks it, and she's at a sleazy hotel. The car's at a sleazy hotel. And when I say sleazy, it's sleazy. You know. If you watching, lady, which I know you're probably going to watch this, for you to throw all that away that you got for some man that's going to take you to a place like that, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. So, if it was me and I saw the car there, I probably just went on home and said, okay, it's over. I'll wait till she gets home and see if she's going to continue lying. But no, he sat there in the parking lot for some hours. He wanted to see it for his own eyes, that his wife was fooling around on him. Because he loved her, man. I mean, he really loves a woman. And I know his heart is broke. And I just told him, don't do anything stupid. You know, I literally told him that. You know, don't get in trouble, man. You know, it's going to hurt for a little while. But in 6 months, you're going to be glad you called her now. You know, that's just less you got to go through with her. Better to find out now than later. But he's hot because he knows all that he's done. Okay? So boom, they come out. She's busted. Okay? She's trying to beg and plead to get back in. You know, lady, you made your bed, you gotta lie in it. Literally. You made your bed, now you gotta lie in it. Under no circumstances would I take you back. You done showed me who you are. And I believe it. You know, so clear heads prevailed, you know, and he was gonna take the car, he was gonna do all of that. But he decided not to. He said, well, I'm just gonna give her stuff and let her go on her way, you know, and just leave me alone. Let me heal. Guys, this man's hurting. Okay? I saw it in his eyes. I saw the hurt in his eyes. I know him. He's come to my meet and greets before. I chat with him all the time. I can't believe it. This one, she fooled me. You know, but it's not hard to do. And then they just celebrated their anniversary maybe a few days before this happened. But we overlooked the red flags. Okay, we're in such of a hurry, and it blows up on us. He didn't know who he brought over here. But now everything that she done built up is going to come crashing down now. She done met some old slimy guy online that she thinks is going to be better than her husband who's did all that for her. He's already proven himself, man. Look, if you're a Filipino and you watching this, if you found a good man in that old nasty, dirty dating pool that you have to choose from, you better sit your ass down and be happy that you got somebody that's doing what they say they're going to do. Because you start rolling them dice, get the big head, because we do that. When the world tells them how good they look, the whole world, they start believing it. They think, oh, I don't need him. I can find me somebody else. Okay, you don't know what you got. You could have a woman beater. You could have a wife killer, because they killing women over there. Whole lot more than they killing them over here. So thank y'all so much for stopping by. You know, we learn from these bad stories. These are the stories we click on. These are the stories we listen to. Okay, but you don't follow the advice. You think, oh, she's different. I've heard that so many times. My woman's different. Nah. Until she's got what she wants, you'll never know what you got. Once you set that woman on a path that's going somewhere and she's where she wants to go, she got the visa, she got the job, the house, the car, and all that, then you're going to know what you got. That's when you're going to know. And you're not going to know a second sooner than that. Because they'll lay right next to you, like any other woman, and kiss you and pretend they love you and everything. Imagine, he's racking his brain now. He's wondering, when I thought this woman was at work and she's coming home getting into bed with me, has she just been in bed with him? I mean, he's ate up about this, man. He's like, all those times you're kissing me, lady. Was you sucking this man's dingling? All this stuff going through his mind, you know, stuff that will make a man go into a rage. Luckily, he had somebody to talk to. I just let him vent. And then I told him my situation. You know, I just said, don't do anything stupid, because if she becomes desperate, then she's going to start lying. And men don't have a chance over there. Once they say, oh, he's abusing me, verbally or physically. Oh, I told him no and he did it anyway. I said, you don't want that, man. Go on and give her her shit, all of it, and tell her get to stepping. So if you're in America, if you're in the Philippines, wherever you are, find your heart to help somebody. Now, a day goes by, I don't help somebody here. Because if I don't know anything else, I know this one thing for sure. We help other people, we help ourselves. Take care, stay safe, stay out of trouble. I'll see you next time. Don't do anything stupid. Stop bringing women to your country that you don't know. It takes more than 2 weeks to know somebody.
You heard what he said? Don't bring them to your own country. That is a no-no.
If she's ever been with a foreigner, throw her back. Okay, I'm sorry. Throw her back. You can't win in that one. You're gonna pay for what he did or what he didn't do. She's gonna take you for granted. She's always gonna compare you to him. Maybe she's looking for somebody like him. You don't know if he broke her heart or not. Make a few trips back and forth over here. Let the family and friends vet her for you. Because he told me. He said, yeah, one of her friends said, hey, she wasn't with me last night. Even though she told me to tell you that she was with me, she wasn't with me. Okay? So, hey, man, I know you watching this, man. Like I told you before. Go ahead and feel what you got to feel, man. It's going to hurt for a little while. But in about 6 months, man, you're going to be thankful that you found out when you did. But take care, y'all. But I do want to say this before I get over here. We have the meet and greet scheduled May 31st at Carmel's Inn and Restaurant right here in San Carlos City from 4 to 8 p.m. They built a beautiful new wing. We're going to rent an exclusive area just for us. Food, fun, live music, karaoke. You can go swimming if you like. But if you want to drink and everything like that, you're going to get that from their bar. And you're going to order off the menu if you don't want the food from, the buffet or whatever it is. But it's really, really going to be nice. Everybody's invited. You don't need an invitation. If you anywhere near St. Carlos City, come around, man. I trust me. Every meet and greet we have, there's always great people there. Okay? You're going to meet somebody there probably that you'll stay connected with for the rest of your life. I'll see y'all later.
Yeah, told you so. Yeah. I just want y'all to hear that story about that you have to be really careful about selecting your mate if you want her to come, if you want to marry someone in a foreign country. Now, he's in the Philippines. And his friend came to the Philippines for 3 weeks, fell in love, and brought the woman back to the States, and he regretted. He regretted. And let me tell you something else too. Never get married without a prenuptial agreement. A prenuptial agreement. Okay? Please do not marry a woman without a prenuptial agreement, because you can end up in a situation like this guy. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Like this guy, the guy that he was talking about, and then she could take everything you got. Can you imagine that? You meet somebody for 3 weeks and you bring her back to the States and you marry her and it doesn't work out and she wants to divorce you and she can get half of your house. She can get your car. She can get your bank account. It's not worth it, man. Keep her in her country. Yeah, that's a shame. Yeah, you keep her in her own country. Keep her in her own country. Yep, keep her in her own country. Don't do it. Don't do it. Because sometimes 3 weeks is really not a long time to really know somebody. It's not. It's really not. But I almost did it too. I ain't gonna lie. I almost did it myself too at the romance tour in Medellin, Colombia, at that romance tour. But she was exceptional though. She was exceptional. I would have done that with her, but I would still would have got a prenuptial agreement though. I would have still got a prenuptial agreement. Because, you can know somebody for 3 weeks, you can marry them, and they can take basically half of what you have, you know. She'll get your house and everything, haven't done nothing to work for it. That's horrible, man. That is horrible. But can you imagine though? Your wife is having an affair on, having an affair on you. Can you imagine that? She's sneaking out on you with another man at a hotel. And she's going back and forth between him and you. That's disgusting. That's what happened when you get trash. That's what happened. Like I say, you can take a woman out of the trash, but sometimes you can't take the trash out of the woman. Some people just do not change. They just do not change. And that can happen anywhere. That can happen in the Philippines. That can happen anywhere. Everybody say, well, the Philippines is better than Colombia or Brazil or whatever. I've known guys that brought their wives from Colombia, brought them here, and then when they go to work, they on social media on the computer talking to different men. I know this happened to another guy. He brought a woman back to the States from Colombia, and within about 3 weeks, he called it cheating. Yep. Because let me ask you a question. If you brought a woman back to the States, okay? You brought a woman back from the States. And you go to work, right? I want y'all to hear this. I want y'all to see me when I tell you this. You bring a woman back to the States. Okay, you bring her back to the States. She doesn't have a job. She barely knows the language. You go to work every day. They say if you work 8 hours or you work 12 hours. That's a lot of time. That's a lot of idle time that she has. So what she's going to be doing all that time? What she's going to be doing? Is she going to be doing house chores all that time? Probably not. How you doing, Ed? You doing okay, sir? Let's see. Let's see what he's talking about here. How's it going? Everything fine, brother. Just stopping by saying hello. It's good to see you, sir. I am a sports bar watching the Knicks in the game right now, game 6, enjoying the shellacking of the Celtics right now. Oh, that's cool. That's cool, brother. You have yourself a good time. You have yourself a good time. But you know what, Jay? I heard some good news about Shiloh, man, in Tampa Bay. I heard some good news about Shiloh Sanders in Tampa. He's with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I heard he's doing a good job. They really like him, but Shador is the one that's having problems. I heard he may get cut from the Browns. Yep, he may get cut. I'm going to have to cut the replay. Okay, yeah. By the way, the Knicks up 79-43 and 7 to left again. Okay, you enjoy your game, brother. Man, that's a slap in the face to say that. Yeah. You gotta be careful with these women, man. You can't let that. Some guys they get let that cat, control their emotions. You can't let that happen, man. You gotta think with your head. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So guys, I just want to thank you all for coming on the live stream today, I just want to say, just be careful. Be careful. Always be aware of your surroundings. Okay? Chris, me and you had to talk on Instagram about Monticello's. I heard it was safe though. Girl gotta have a job. Yeah. Because like I said, that's just too much idle time. You going to work every day and she's in the house, unless you, what you can do, like what my cousin did, when he brought his wife back here, he put her in a, in a language, a language school, okay, to learn English, to keep her busy, so you gotta keep them busy. You can't have them like being idle, idle mind. It's the devil's workshop, you know what I'm saying? Yep, so anybody got anything else to say? I'm going to leave here in about another 2 minutes. I want to thank you all again for the super chats. Again, thank you, Eric. Thank you very much, Willie Brown, for the Cash App. And thank you very much also for the super chat. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to this live. I really appreciate it. If this is your first time here, make sure you hit that notification bell and hit that subscribe button. Let me tell you something. If you came here for geopolitics, you came to the right place. If you came here for geoeconomics, you came to the right place. If you came here for the travel space, you came to the right place. This is what we talk about on this live stream and on this channel, okay? Yeah, but if I hear anything about Maria, I'll definitely let you guys know. But sometimes you just have to move on. Because you know what, sometimes those girls, they do, like you said, Marcus, they do move on. She could have gotten married, you know what I'm saying? Met a new guy and the guy told her, you need to get rid of all of your social media page. That's possible, that could have happened. But we'll never know, Life doesn't stop. Life goes on. Life goes on. You can't expect for those women that's, to stop their life because of you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, some of them do end up having kids. Some of them end up meeting somebody else. Some of them end up getting married. That could have happened. She could have gotten married. Yeah, she could have gotten married and fell in love with another guy. That's possible. But I'm not going to sit around and wait, because I got other friends too that I'm going to meet. And I keep you guys posted on my travel plans. Yeah, maybe she just wanted a private life. Yeah, maybe she got tired of what she was doing. Because she used to tell me stories about what she would go through too, man. Because I told you she was a pro. And, excuse me. And she'll tell me guys will be very rude to her. Guys won't pay. She said one time there was a customer that just told her that she was ugly and I'm not paying for you. It was sad. It was just sad, some of the stories she told me, and I just pray that she's okay, because she was a very, very nice young lady. She was very, no, thank you, Eric. Thank you for your support and everything. And Chris, like I said, we're gonna talk about Manizales. Because what I'm gonna end up doing, I'm gonna end up going to Poblado, stay in the resort for a couple of days, maybe 3 days or 4 days, and do a few, maybe 5 or 6 days out of Manizales. But I pray I don't get aptitude sickness when I go up there, though. They said by bus it's like I think Chris, you already told me it's like maybe a 3.5 hour drive. You know, it's a 3.5 hour drive, but they got some beautiful hotels up there. So I do everything safe. But I think a cab will probably be too much. Will probably cost too much. To take a cab to Manizales, people said that you should take that I should take the bus up there. I think the bus is only like maybe 30, maybe let me see, maybe 25, 17 bucks. Yeah, I would go from Medellin to Manizales. Yeah, I got a friend up there. Her name is Andrea. Beautiful young lady. Yep. She said she wants to spend some time together and see what happens. Yeah, she's pretty safe. I know the family, met the grandma, the sister, her cousin, everybody. They're pretty cool people. Really close family. Yep. Yeah, so you have to be careful, man. You just have to, like I told you guys, make sure, please, be aware of your surrounding. Do incline fast walking on the gym and treadmill. Light mass to increase oxygen consumption to prepare yourself for. Wow. Okay. Wow. Light mass to increase oxygen consumption to prepare yourself for that trip. Wow. Yeah, okay. I definitely do that. Because we are going up in the mountains, so. You know what? I found Barranquilla to be a little bit like that too. I had altitude sickness there too. I had altitude sickness in Barranquilla. It's a weird feeling. Altitude sickness, it's like you can't get your breath. Like you like you can't get enough oxygen or something. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Do incline fast walking on the gym treadmill with light mass to increase oxygen consumption to prepare you for your trip. Wow. Okay. Hey, Eric, have you ever been to Manizales or Bogota? I heard you have to prepare for Bogota. Yeah, it was hot, yeah. Okay. You said Peru is like that. For altitude sickness, you walk up 3 steps and you are out of breath. Yeah. Okay. Peru is like that. Wow, okay. Never been, but maybe this year. Okay. Y'all let me know. Yeah, he could cause being car sick. Yeah, I was in Barranquilla. It was so hot. It was so hot. Yeah, but Barranquilla is like kind of above sea. It may not be as mountainous as Medellin, but Barranquilla is kind of like above sea level too. Yeah, you can get sick in Barranquilla. And you also can get a little sick in Medellin too, also, because I met a tourist out there. He was a real nice guy. He was from Virginia. Real cool guy. me and him sometimes we would go to the mall together and chop it up. And I remember he said that he suffered with aptitude sickness so bad in Medellin that he had to lock himself up in the room. I mean, stay in the bed for a whole day one time. It got so bad. Yeah, you can feel aptitude sickness in Medellin too, especially now when because I remember sometimes after it rains, I would walk to the mall, and sometimes you can feel like something like heavy is on your chest. It's a weird feeling, like you're like you're doing like this, like. Yep. So, yep, that can happen there too. So, okay, family, thank you very much for another live stream. And again, Eric, thank you very much for this super sticker. Thank you very much for your Cash App. Thank you, Willie Brown, for the Cash App, everything. Thank you for the super sticker. And make sure you guys like, subscribe to the channel. Please do that. And I'll be back again with another live. And thank you all for coming, okay? Stay strong. I'm going to be putting some more YouTube shorts up there too, so. All right, God bless everybody. Love you all very much, man. Y'all stay safe out there. And I give you more updates about Minus Dollars and Medellin. Okay, peace.